Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from Greico Financial Training, and in this video what I'm going to do is just speak briefly about how to prepare for an exam like the Series 7 or the Series 24. First thing you want to do is really go through your materials, and when you read the materials, don't go nuts trying to memorize every detail, because if you focus too much on the small picture, you miss the big picture, and that's the part that really kind of keeps all the information together. So that's why we always say, read the book like a newspaper. So that way when you're reading it, it's like when you read a newspaper in the morning, you're reading it to get the story. So that way you can talk about it with your friends at work. And the thing is that if you can get the story, the details will stick much easier later. So like, what is a bond? Why is a bond? Okay, what are the cold cooling rules? Why are they in place? And if you get the context of it much better, details stick much better. Now, when you look at any particular book, they can be a little bit intimidating. This is why here at Greico Financial Training we pack our books in a binder. So instead of you having to carry around this big binder that just stares at you in the face and intimidates you, what you can do is you can take the section that you're working on individually for that day, which looks much more doable. I definitely recommend having a set goal for each day's study session. So instead of just sitting and saying, okay, I'm going to study for so many hours and basically get as far as I can, the problem is if you just get as far as you can, you tend to push yourself to go faster, which means you end up getting less information. And two, when you get done, you just see everything you haven't done yet, and you just feel kind of like you haven't accomplished anything. So if you go into every study session saying, okay, I'm going to do these couple sections and these questions, and then when you get done with it, you're like, oh, I've actually did what I set out to do. And that encourages you to keep studying every day and keep seeing the game. Generally, I don't recommend any more than 4 hours of studying a day. Generally, after 4 hours, your brain kind of gets mushy, so you actually end up being counterproductive because you end up taking the information that you've already learned and mixing it with new information, and then it just ends up getting jumbled up, and you end up having to spend more time studying later to undo those bad habits. So generally, again, up to 4 hours, and generally very focused on what you're going to study, you'll end up getting the most benefit out of it. Now, 4 hours should also include breaks in the sense that after every hour or so, take like a 5-10 minute break, and that should keep your brain light. Got to think of it like working out. So if you work out, you don't work out at the gym for 12 hours because then you just start damaging your muscles after a while. You work out at a set schedule, and eating the right foods during this period of time also matters. Okay, because if you don't have the energy to study, your brain's not going to absorb as much. So again, healthy diet, rigid schedule. Doesn't have to all be at one time. So if you can't find a 4 hour or even an hour block to study each day, the minimum should be an hour a day. If you can get me 20 minutes at breakfast, 20 minutes at lunch, and 20 minutes before you go to bed, you've already given me an hour. And if you can give me maybe a little bit more on the weekends, you start seeing that this adds up. Okay? Now also, if you're newer to the industry, you should be immersing yourself in the financial industry. So if you're taking like Series 7 or Series 63, which generally newer entries are taking, you should be watching CNBC, Bloomberg on a daily basis, listening to podcasts like NPR Planet Money, Econ Talk, Bloomberg has podcasts, CNBC has podcasts, and also subscribe to the FINRA Investor Podcast and the FINRA Compliance Podcast, because generally if there's going to be newer questions on the exam, it will show up in these podcasts early on as they inform investors and people in the industry about new trends and new rules, etc. So I would definitely check those out. So the recap, okay, you read the material like a newspaper, so that way you're getting the big picture. Then you'll reread it again to get the details. Have very focused study sections. Don't study more than 4 hours a day. Immerse yourself in the industry. That does not count as part of your 4 hours. So that means when you're done with your before or after your 4 hours of studying, you spend time watching CNBC, even reading financial related books, like reading books like The Big Short or All the Devils Are Here, are great books where you learn a lot about the industry and a lot about the terminology. At the same time, you have a really enjoyable, fun read. Okay? Now, that's what to do on your own time. You should also come to a class, and that's where we at Greico Financial Trading Institute really bring something special. So if you can come to one of our classes, all you need to do is bring your notebook and your 4 colored pens. Okay, red, green, black, and blue. And you just kind of let us put all the pieces together for you. Okay, now if you sign up for a class at Greico Financial Training Institute, you're covered for a year, so if you need to repeat the class or want to repeat the class before you take the test, you're more than free to do so. And all the instructors, including myself, always make ourselves accessible, so you can always email us. Like, you can email me at alex@greico.com with any questions. So we make resources available to you. So please come visit us at GreicoFinancialTrainingInstitute.com. Hopefully this video has been helpful in learning how to prepare for your exam, where it's Series 7, Series 63, Series 24, you name it. And you have a great day and enjoy.